Welcome to the Closing Bell, everyone. I'm Wilfred here at the New York Stock Exchange. We have a big sell-off on our hands.
Welcome to the White House, Will.
Mr. Stump goes back to Washington. The Wells Fargo CEO set to face another grilling from lawmakers.
Mr. Stump, will you willingly give up your own bonuses ahead of the board decision to discuss it?
Wells Fargo fallout. John Stump is gone.
We are joined by Tim Sloan, the new CEO. Do you feel sorry for him?
Wilfred John's a friend of mine. There's no question that I feel sorry for him.
This is the question you asked. On the topic of cross-selling, Wells has come under scrutiny for its strong sales culture. Is there any sense that the bank has pushed that strategy to the limit? No, was your response. Is that not misleading investors 3 months before this came out?
No, I don't think it's misleading investors at all, because I think the issue...
Is there any sense that the bank has pushed the strategy to the limit? Your answer was no. A very, very poor result for the Conservatives. They have missed the majority. The pound has fallen.
Results are in. Wilfred, what can you tell us this morning?
Good morning, guys. Great to hear from you. As you say, results are in and the polls were right. That's the key. Macron and Le Pen through to the second round. Wild celebrations last night at their respective headquarters. UK voters have backed an exit from the European Union. There's lots of criticisms about the Leave campaign that have poured over every day for the last 3 years. Was your campaign perfectly truthful?
I think we told the story as it was about Britain being better off and stronger and safer inside the EU, but we lost, and I think you have to accept that. I'm happy to say that while some of the forecasts we made about the instant impact on the economy sadly have been borne out, we've not been growing as fast as we had been. Some of the other forecasts that were made have not turned out to be the case, and the economy is stronger than some thought.
You were very critical of President Obama as it related to Syria. You said, quote, he lost his nerve, and that, quote, his handling of Assad is still the thing I regret most about his entire presidency. Was that solely Obama's fault?
I felt that our response to the chemical weapons attack, a red line was crossed. We should have agreed between us before it happened what the reaction was going to be. I then lost that vote in the House of Commons, which was a matter of huge regret. And I think more generally, when you look at Syria, of course, Iraq shows us the perils of intervention. Syria shows us the perils of non-intervention. Look at the lives that have been lost, the refugee crisis, the fillip that it gave to ISIS and terrorism. It has been a failure for the West, and one where I think we could have done more if we'd worked harder.
You were very critical of President Obama's drawing of a red line in Syria and failing to then enforce it. And in Cairo in January, you were setting out your Middle East agenda in a speech, and you proudly contrasted that by saying, quote, the Trump administration did not stand idly by when Bashar Assad used chemical weapons against his people. You went on to say, quote, our words mean something again, as they should. West Point taught me a basic code of integrity. If we commit American prestige to an action, our allies depend on us to follow through. How, Mr. Secretary, is letting Turkey seize the land of an ally not a major contradiction of all the promises you made personally in that speech in January this year in front of your Middle Eastern allies in Cairo?
Oh, yeah. No, it's fundamentally different. Turkey didn't... The country that Turkey invaded, that conducted an incursion into, is Syria, a sovereign nation.
The fact that the Kurds, who unquestionably have been an ally, but the fact that they are not a sovereign nation means that they can be sacrificed essentially in this way. At least their land certainly has been sacrificed, and certainly tens of their lives, probably hundreds of their lives have been sacrificed.
Well, the work that we did was very clearly aimed at exactly the opposite of that. Indeed, I am highly confident that we saved lives. The work that Vice President Pence and the State Department team did to convince the Turkish government to stop their movement, to cease this incursion, I'm fully convinced that that work saved lives.
We were profoundly disappointed because, look, when I went at the President's direction in September, I met with Prime Minister Johnson. I told him the moment the UK is out of Brexit, we were willing to begin to negotiate a free trade arrangement with the UK. And now the UK is out of Brexit. Our teams have begun that process to work. But we just don't believe that utilizing the assets, the technology of Huawei is consistent with the security or privacy interests of the UK, of the United States, and it remains a real issue between our two countries.
Is it a deal breaker on a trade deal?
Well, we'll see. We'll see if it is.
Just to dive a little deeper, if I may. It's been a crazy few months, Brexit, stress tests, we touched on all of those things. At the same time, you had the awful eventuality of losing both of your parents, and sadly, you know, I've been through a similar personal hit in recent years, and that would have totally floored me. And I wonder, you know, are you coping? How are you coping? And are you getting through it? And are you all right?
Yeah, no, I'm all right. You know, my parents have been ill for a while, so you have some time to get prepared. And you're mentioning something that this is the first probably CNBC interview I'm doing that my mother's not watching. And she would always call me or send me a note afterwards, and you know, she was proud of me and what we did and stuff like that. So you miss your parents, and your life has changed. And every event, as you know better than me, every event that comes up is kind of a new feeling that someone's not there used to be there. So it was as nice as it could possibly have been.
For now, we're out of time on Closing Bell. Thanks so much for watching.